Good morning, grade 12 Earth and Life Science students. I am your teacher, Jaiseline Vanessa Perna. So today I am going to be discussing to you the Module 2 in Earth and Life Science for Quarter 1, which is about the origin and structure of the Earth, subsystems. Before that, make sure that you have your modules with you for you to follow my instructions and our discussion. Please go to page 1 of your module, What I Need to Know. This module is composed of the subsystems of our Earth. So after going through this module, we have to reach 4 objectives. Number 1, determine the 4 subsystems of our Earth. Number 2, describe the characteristics of each subsystem. Number 3, trace the flow of matter and energy in the Earth subsystems, and express one's internalized role as a steward of the 4 subsystems concerning the flow of matter and energy. So, kailangan natin ma-reach yung 4 na yon by the end of this module. On page 2, what I know. So again, please be honest in answering this as possible. When you say what I know, what you already know, kung ano na yung alam ninyo regarding this topic. And again, if you get a low score, it's alright, walang problema doon. Because later during the assessment, after our discussion, din yung malalaman whether you have understood the topic or not. So, walang problema. Again, do not go to the answer key page yet. Just test whatever you have learned or whatever you already know with regards to this subject. Okay, so let's proceed with our discussion. Again, our lesson is about origin and structure of the Earth, the subsystems. Ano ba yung mga nilalaman ng Earth natin? Not only may tao, merong mga hayop, meron tayong atmosphere, etc. But ano yung bumubuo sa Earth natin as a system? Okay, so as you already have read in your modules, our Earth is also known as the water planet or the blue planet. Kasi sabi nga natin, it covers more than 2/3 of the Earth. So, majority ng Earth natin is covered with water. So, the Earth is the only planet in the solar system with rain that falls from clouds. So, tayo lang yung may umuulan. Of course, meron din tayong land. Ayan, so kung saan man kayo tumatayo dyan. And then, we also have oceans. Okay? So, actually, we have very big oceans. Number 1, we have the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Antarctic Ocean, yung mga yan. So all of those covers mainly the land portion of our Earth. And of course, as we all know, it is the only planet, as we all know right now, na nagsusupport ng buhay at kung saan nga tayo nakatira. The rest of the other planets in our solar system, again, hindi po confirmed kung meron bang living organisms din sa mga planet na yan. But so far, now, in the realm of science, Earth is the only living planet that we know of. So again, this module should be a self-learning module. But then again, I am here para tulungan kayo para mas maintindihan pa ninyo yung topic natin regarding the subsystems of the Earth. And don't forget that whenever you have questions, whenever you have comments or suggestions, open nyo lang yung GC natin so that we could have a talk regarding your question, your comments, or your suggestions. Ayan. What's in? So, anong meron ba sa subsystems natin ito? So, I am just going to read the first activity that you have in your module. So, it is a statement on the different subsystems ng Earth natin. So, it's just a scenario. So, imagine walking along rocky coast as a storm blows in from the sea. Ayan. So, medyo katulad ng nangyayari ngayon, di ba? May bagyo tayo. So, the wind whips the ocean with white caps and waves crash onto the shore. Before you have time to escape, blowing spray has soaked your clothes. So, naabutan kayo ng alon. A hard rain begins to scramble over the rocks to your car. Wow, my car. May sasakyan ka. During the adventure, you have observed the different spheres of the Earth. O, yun na. So, nabanggit ko sa inyo kanina, we're talking about the subsystem. So, it is about the spheres. So yun yung spheres na pag-uusapan natin today. So the first activity, you're going to list down the terms that are used in the statement that reflects to what made up our Earth. So yung mga nabanggit doon, merong ocean, meron tayong rocky coast, yung mga yan. So all of those, can you please categorize them based on the following? So the first column is about air. So anything about air, this is statement na yan, you put it down. Another, so water. So meron din tayong category for water. Maraming nabanggit tungkol sa tubig. Land, of course. And of course, those with life. So i-categorize nyo lang dyan. You don't need to fill out all of the spaces. So kung dadalawa lang, it's okay. Kung isa, it's okay. So for the rest, just fill it out. So what's new? On page 5, you have there another activity wherein it encloses the subsystems of our Earth. So as you can see, meron tayong 4 na pictures. But in your module, I think parang medyo malabo yon. But here it is, para mas maintindihan ninyo at mas makita ninyo. Papakita ko sa inyo yung picture. So, you're going to analyze each picture and label, of course. From the picture, you are going to create, from each picture bawat isang picture, gagawa kayo ng concept na kung anong meron or nakikita nyo doon sa isang picture. And of course, you are to identify the physical characteristics of the subsystem of the Earth. So, meron tayong 4 na picture, therefore, we are depicting 4 subsystems of the Earth. Okay? So, after putting characteristics of the different 4 subsystems, you are also to differentiate one another. So, put it in your paper. Again, it could be as brief as possible or it could be as long as you can, and expound further on what you can see in those pictures. So for letter A, ito, tingnan na lang ninyo, it's about nitrogen and oxygen. Letter B, it's saying or having the 4 layers of our Earth, the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and then of course our crust. Letter C, picture, mukha siyang mountain, mukha rin siyang waves. But actually, those are waves. So, yung waves na yan, can you please describe them and what sphere do they belong to? And for letter D, you have, of course, our the Earth as a whole. Okay, so what can you tell about those? And be as brief as possible if you can. Okay? Still on page 5, so I think if you have finished doing the activity number 2, just above what is it, I think you're going to have an idea kung ano ba yung sinasabi natin na 4 na spheres. Okay, so we have actually here on page 5 also the 4 different spheres na meron tayo sa Earth natin. So we have the number 1, atmosphere. Number 2, we have the biosphere. Number 3, the geosphere, also known as the lithosphere. So huwag kayong malilito whenever a teacher or somebody tells you the lithosphere, it was also pertaining to your geosphere. And then lastly, we have the hydrosphere. So let's have the first one, the atmosphere. So the atmosphere, nandiyan sa module ninyo, sabi niya, it's the gaseous layer of our Earth surface primarily composed of the different gases such as nitrogen and oxygen. So yun, yung atmosphere na sinasabi natin, yung hangin na portion ng Earth natin. So pag sinabi natin hangin na portion ng Earth natin, yun yung ini-inhale natin, yung ini-exhale natin, yung lumalabas sa mga tambutso, yung kumukover sa Earth natin, primarily to prevent us from ultraviolet rays of the sun, our ozone layer, and of course, prevents also us from getting hit by meteorites na sobrang lalaki. Okay, so that composes our atmosphere. Also, sa atmosphere natin, dito nabubuo ang clouds, ang weather natin, yung mga yan. So, that is our atmosphere. Number 2, we have our biosphere. Ayan. So, bio meaning life. Okay, so this is the portion wherein all forms of life occur. So dito yung mga may buhay. So this serves as the ecosystem for all of living things and non-living organisms. So lahat ng may kinalaman sa buhay. Ayan, all of those belong to the biosphere. Ma'am, kasama ko doon? Yes, of course, kasama ka doon. How about yung mga halaman, mami? Yes, kasama din sila. How about yung mga maliliit, mga bacteria, mga virus, yung mga yan? Kasama ba sila? Yes, of course. Okay, any living organism ay kasama sa biosphere natin. And of course, how they interact with the non-living as well. Okay, let's proceed with number 3. We have the Geosphere, also known as the lithosphere. So this is the solid part of our Earth. So kung mababalikan niyo yung activity ninyo kanina, the solid portion of our Earth or the land part of our Earth, that would be our crust. At pababa tayo ng pababa would be the mantle, the outer core, and then the inner core. All of those encompasses our lithosphere. Ayan. So, number 4, we also have our hydrosphere. Ayan. So, hydro meaning, yes, that is water, diba? So, water is very important. Katulad nga ng nabanggit ko kanina sa umpisa natin, that water is a very essential portion of our life and it makes up more than 70% of life on our body, diba? And of course, on our Earth as well. At nabanggit ko sa inyo, this hydrosphere makes up lahat-lahat ng klase ng katubigan na meron tayo sa planet natin. Whether it will be salt water, tubig alat, or fresh water, which is tubig tabang naman. Aside from the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, we also, hydrosphere also encompasses glaciers. So when we say glaciers, ito yung ice or yung mga portion ng earth natin na nag-yellow or may snow, etc. So normally, this occurs in our North Pole and our South Pole. So again, those are also part of our hydrosphere. So quick recap, we have 4 subsystems. Number 1, yes, the atmosphere. Number 2, okay, the biosphere. Number 3, the geo or the lithosphere. And number 4, we have our hydrosphere. Okay, let's have now page 6. What's more? So we have here activity 1.1. We are connected. Okay. Parang ano lang yan, smart, connecting people. But we are connected. Alam naman natin ng lahat yan, di ba? Galing tayo sa iisang ninuno. Okay? For the people who believe in the Bible, galing tayo sa kay Eva at Adan. For those who are believing that we come from evolution, kamag-anak din natin ang lahat ng nasa paligid natin, di ba? Okay, so everybody is connected with everybody else. Okay? Kumbaga, ikaw, konektado ka sa akin. Ako, konektado ako sa'yo. Okay, joke lang. Okay, so according to John Muir in your module, when one tugs a single thing in nature, kunyari ikaw, hinila kita, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. So, hinila kita, ikaw, konektado ka sa nanay mo, nagsabi ko sa nanay mo. Nanay mo, konektado sa tatay mo, nagsabi siya sa tatay mo. Yung tatay mo, konektado kay Tulfo. Hindi, joke lang. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is connected with everybody else. Okay? So, in your module on page, and what's more, sabi niya dito, you have a diagram below. How is the given diagram related to the said code? Sabi natin, when you tag something, it's connected with the other. So, how is this diagram related to the said code? How does the 4 subsystems of the Earth connect with each other? So, as you can see on the picture, sige, pakita ko sa inyo, ayan. So, as you can see in the picture, you have the biosphere in the middle. And then you have the geosphere on the top portion, and then the atmosphere as well, and then on the down part you have the hydrosphere. At mapapansin niyo, there are arrows, and the arrows are two-sided. So may arrow papunta sa isa, tas pabalik din dun sa isa. Okay, so what does it mean kapag ganun yung arrow natin? Ayun, correct. So yung isa may effect dun sa isa, at ganun din pabalik yung isa. Okay, so they are connected to one another. And of course, kung papansinin niyo sa bandang taas, you have the solar energy. The solar energy is the one, of course, coming from our, yes, ang nag-iisang star Sa ating solar system, we have our sun. So, the solar energy is one of the primary reasons why we live actually, diba? So, solar energy gives energy to our plants in order to make their food, and they are the primary producers of energy in our food chain, diba? Doon lahat nagsisimula sa ating mga halaman, and they get energy from our sun. So again, paano itong diagram na ito nakaka-relate dun sa quote na sinabi ni Mr. John Muir? So you have to elaborate that further on your papers. Okay? So alam nyo na yung sagot already. Ayan. So that is on what's more. Siyempre, dito, fast track tayo. Kasi konti lang yung minutes natin. So, still on page 6, what I have learned. Anong natutunan ninyo based on what you have done with your activities and of course, to what you have read in your module. So, again, uulitin lang natin. We have the four subsystems of our Earth, namely the atmosphere, the biosphere, the geo, and then the hydrosphere natin. Okay? Page 7. So, Earth is a complex system made up of many smaller systems through which matter and energy are continuously cycled. O, ito na yung kanina sa objectives natin. You need to get an idea kung paano ba yung energy na sinasabi natin nare-recycle. Okay, so our Earth, sabi natin sa chemistry, energy on our Earth is neither created nor destroyed. So whatever energy, whatever matter is in our Earth, ayan, hindi siya nawawala, hindi siya nagagawa. Okay? It is just being transformed from one form to another. For example, chemical energy, for example. Sa chemical energy na pwede natin makita sa mga pagkain natin, pag kinain natin yon, it could be transformed into another form of chemical energy, ATP. Maaalala ninyo. And then, itong ATP na ito yung magiging source ng energy natin para tayo ay gumalaw, para tayo ay huminga. So, pag ginamit na natin yon, it will become mechanical energy or it will become kinetic energy. So, nagtatransform lang yung energy na meron tayo sa Earth natin. O, another example, yung solar energy, di ba? Pwede siyang maging heat energy, light energy, di ba? So, nagtatransform lang siya na pwedeng kunin ng halaman. At yung halaman, gagamitin niya to, it will transform into chemical energy. Di ba? So on and so forth. So, nagmo-move yung energy from one place to another or from one subsystem to another. So, pwedeng pumunta sa hydrosphere, lilipat ng lithosphere, lipat ng bio, lipat ng atmosphere. Lipat-lipat lang yung energy natin. So, it is continuously being recycled. So, dito rin yung makikita yung idea na connected ang bawat isa sa isa pa. Because energy is just moving around our Earth. Okay? So, again, example natin, bigay tayo nandun sa module ninyo. Pag umuulan, diba? Saan galing yung ulan? First, of course, nanggaling yun sa pag-evaporate ng tubig. Evaporate ng tubig galing saan? Sa hydrosphere, of course. Evaporate dahil mainit. There's a connection between your atmosphere and your hydrosphere already. So, umuulan, akyat, evaporate. And then, pag yun ay nag-form ng clouds, at bumigat yung cloud, syempre nasa atmosphere yon, it will then become again water, diba? At yung water na yan babagsak ulit. So konektado ang hydro and then our atmosphere. O paano pa natin pwedeng i-connect yung dalawa pa? O remember, our water ay under yon ng lithosphere natin. O di connected na agad yon. And of course, tayong mga tao, we are also dependent doon sa rain because dependent tayo sa tubig. Tama ba? What if walang rain for almost a month or for almost 3 months? O, pwede na tayong magkaroon ng El Nino. Meron na magkakaroon man ng water shortage, ng electric shortage, diba? So, konektado yung bawat isang sphere doon sa isa pang sphere. Okay? So, hopefully you get what I'm saying and yun yung pag-flow ng energy from one sphere to another. What I can do? Anong pwede mong magawa? Okay, so alam naman natin na sobrang rami ng tao dito sa buong mundo. Sabi niya dyan sa module ninyo, sabi niya 6.7 billion people inhabited our planet. Because of this, extensive pollution is everywhere. Hindi naman ito kaila sa lahat, diba? Pollution kahit saan. Okay? As a student, kayo, what can you do to save only a particular system? But the Earth itself. So, hindi lang yung atmosphere, hindi lang yung hydro, hindi lang yung bio, hindi lang yung geo. So, sabi ko, konektado sila sa isa't isa. So, if you save one sphere, you already saved the other 3 spheres. So, for you, can you please write on the table what can you do for each of the 4 spheres para makatulong sa pag-save ng Earth natin as a whole? Okay, so just give me a few. Okay, 4. So, 1 for hydro, 1 for atmosphere, 1 for biosphere, and 1 for hydrosphere. Ayan. So, yun yung sa what I can do. Okay, for the assessment, nabanggit ko na kanina, ha? Please do this as honestly as possible. Again, kayo din ang magbe-benefit dito. Ibig sabihin, pag mataas kayo, you have listened. If no, hindi naman sa hindi kayo nag-listen or hindi kayo nagbasa ng module, siguro just sadyang trying time ito para sa ating lahat, and I can still understand kung ano man yun. But then again, sabi ko, do your part as our students, and of course, teachers like me will do our part as well para matulungan kayo. Okay? For the additional activity, connect me spheres. So, analyze the interaction. No? Again, meron tayong connection dito. So, ano yung event na sinasabi dito? It's the Taal volcano eruption. So, pag nung nag-erupt yung Taal, di ba, nakakalungkot, nakakatakot, na talagang nangyari, tapos biglaan pa, di ba? What do you think happened in the 4 different spheres? Anong nangyari sa hydro? Anong nangyari sa atmo? Anong nangyari sa geo and sa bio during the Taal volcano? Okay? So, here are your guide questions. What sphere caused the event? Anong naging dahilan nung event na yon? Was it the bio, the hydro, the geo, or the atmosphere? Number 2, what are the effects of the event on 1 or more spheres? Ano naging epekto dun sa tatlo pa na natitira na spheres? And number 3, what is the global implication of the event? Anong pwede nyong masabi na naging effect niya? Drastic, the effect was very drastic, syempre lalo na sa ating mga Pinoy. So, anong global implication na nangyari because of the Taal volcano eruption? Okay, so again, your module is for this week. I am not going to pressure you na ipasa na kaagad, etc., etc. No, you do this at your own pace and timing. And of course, hindi tayong lahat pare-pareho ng availability. So please do this on your available time. And I am hoping that you can send it to me through Messenger. Alam niyo naman lahat ang Messenger ko. And aside from that, make a photo na clear para mas madali kong ma-check. And please, again, I'm going to say sorry kapag hindi ko agad ma-check yung inyong mga papel. Dahil nga, again, sabi ko sa inyo, I have almost every day, I have more than 400 emails a day or messages in Messenger a day. So again, maraming salamat guys for listening, and I hope I have helped you in this week's module. Okay? Bye-bye. Stay safe everyone.